This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Whew, yowza. Good evening, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network in America. I am Tim Daniel. I'm going to be joined today by our good friend Jeff Carr to discuss the Cincinnati Reds getting beat by the Pittsburgh Pirates 9-1. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Well, on tonight's show, if you listen to Jeff and Steve this morning, they talked quite a bit about how starting pitching needs to be efficient. Brady Singer didn't understand that. On the other side of things, though, Mitch Keller was absolutely dominant against the Reds. And Jeff and I are going to dive into, well, how the Reds bounce back tomorrow to try to get back on track in this one. All that and a whole lot more. Let's get started.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Well, first, I want to thank Jeff Carr for emotionally supportively being here with tonight, as not only did the Reds get beat really bad, the Cleveland Cavaliers lost on a buzzer beater. So I am in shambles. I am in sports shambles right now, Jeff. But you and Steve had a really nice conversation today that I thought was really great when you were previewing the Pirates series, where you guys dove into the back to the conversation of starting pitching needs to be on this series. They need to be pitch efficient. They need to get outs quickly, and they need to just kind of get moving forward. And Brady Singer saw Brian Reynolds go into the batter's box in the first inning and went, none of that's going to happen. And gave up a tank. And it just got worse from there. So Brady Singer this year, it's like every time that I start to believe in him, much like the Cleveland Cavaliers, he does something to make me disappointed. And last week, he had two really good back-to-back starts. And then tonight went back to this, those Brady Singer Red Sox and Giants starts and all that jazz where you're like, what he's become, how would I describe this? He's become Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get from Brady Singer.
Right. This Friday night against the Pirates start for him was very much like, kind of like you mentioned, we're like, hey, need the starting pitching to go. And he was like, counterpoint, what if we don't? Right. And he didn't, because that was not a great performance. So I was joking with you off air, is just like, all right, the Reds now know you can't throw pitches in the middle of the plate and expect it to succeed. And that's exactly what he did. That was his biggest bugaboo in this game. And you're right. He had 3 pretty good starts all in a row. I mean, he had 2 quality starts and then 5 1/3 against Detroit. But he still kept the Reds in the ball game. And you're like, okay, that's fine. It's these starts that he needs to avoid. And the biggest problem with Brady Singer, and even a little bit for Andrew Abbott, is that on a regular rotation, these are the back end guys. These are the guys that you're like, we're just happy that you're here. You're better than most guys back in. But for right now, they've got to be the higher ups. They've got to be the guys that lead this rotation. Right. And in large part, they haven't this year. And Brady Singer, this was a really, really tough start for me, because it felt like you need to get on the Pirates. They're losing 5 in a row. Don't let them get right. And that's exactly what they did. They got right. I mean, when Henry Davis hits 2 home runs in one game, Tim, you're going to lose. Period, plain and simple. It's the Pirates' night, and you just got to chalk it up to that. But even more so than that, it just kind of felt like the pitching just never really got going in this game.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the rain delay, if it was the fact it was cold in Pittsburgh, if it was just the fact that they were in that cesspool of a city called Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, what it was, but they just didn't seem like it was going to go in. So you mentioned it. Brady Singer goes 3 1/3, 4 runs, 7 hits. Zach Maxwell makes his season debut, and we've seen better Zach Maxwell days. An inning, 4 earned runs, 3 hits, 2 walks. And then Pierce Johnson has a bad day, but Luis May did not. So, there's that. Jose Trevino did not. He had a strikeout. So, there's that.
Reds are getting their money's worth on that contract. 2 pitching appearances in 3 days. We're seeing that money come through.
That's right. But, and like someone in the chat said it there. It's just like Marshall says it here. Some teams just have your number. It sucks. I agree, because it's the team I hate the most. And so for me, I am very much in pain during this game 1. But, also I do acknowledge that the Pirates did a lot to make their team better this offseason, and all those guys are doing nothing. It's all the old guys who are kicking butt for the Reds right now, kicking the Reds butt right now.
Well, and the hard part is too, like, honestly, all the Reds need to do against all of these division teams is just go 7-6, because you play 13 games against divisional opponents. Just go 7-6, but they now dug themselves a hole against Pittsburgh, where Pittsburgh has a 3-1 advantage. So you got to go 6-3 the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And you've got more away games than you do have home games. So this is going to be a tough road to hoe. Like, can they still win this series? Absolutely. Rhett Lauder and Chase Burns have been their two best pitchers so far this season. The problem is you're going against Braxton Ashcraft on Sunday, and there's some folks that would argue he's had a better season to this point than Paul Skeens. So as much as the Reds miss out on Skeens, they still got to deal with Ashcraft on Sunday. And the lineup's doing this thing that it's just like, all right, like now we're starting to get into that 1 day 10, 1 day 0, and you just kind of hope that you win on the 10 because you're not obviously going to win on the 0.
Yeah, I agree. It's just really disappointing when they have games like that, man. And so actually Reddit dude right here has it. Reds outscored by Pirates 25-9 so far this season. 9-1 can do that, but there's also
hurts you.
Yeah,
TJ Friedl can't do it all by himself, man. He can't do it all by himself.
Oh no, man. What bozo wrote an article about how he should be benched today. Yeah, he had 2 hits today. I mean, so there's that.
He was at 200 for a minute, and then he got out in his final at bat, and that dropped him back down below 200. But he's getting there.
He's getting there. Let's talk about Mitch Keller real quick. Just kind of give someone their flowers, because he was pretty dominant tonight, obviously, and as he normally is against the Reds. 7 innings of 1 run baseball with 6 strikeouts. Like, that's getting the job done.
Yes.
I feel like he's the guy who's just not ever talked about in the Pirates rotation, because it's like Paul Skeens, Braxton Ashcraft, and you're like, but Mitch Keller's been there longer than those guys, and he's been pretty damn good for a while. So he was just dominant tonight. His sweeper was moving so well. Sometimes the pitcher just has his day. It's disappointing when it's against your team.
And Mitch Keller is very similar, at least in his profile amongst Reds fans and amongst other fans that are not Pirates fans, to Bronson Arroyo. Not saying he pitches like Bronson Arroyo, but it's like, if you're a Pirates fan, you love Mitch Keller. If you're not a Pirates fan, you're like, who's this guy? Like, why is he killing us? He has been doing this now for a couple of years, and it's all because of that breaking ball. That sweeper, slider, whatever the breaking ball is phenomenal. That thing had some snap and zip on it that the Reds just could not figure out tonight. And on nights like that, it's going to be tough to beat him, but especially when his lineup is giving him so much run support.
Yeah,
it's almost impossible. I mean, he went through 7 innings. I felt like, he moved through those 7 innings with 104 pitches. And quite frankly, I felt like he could have easily have just thrown like 70 pitches, like a pitch per batter. It just felt like he was so dominant tonight. Like the only Reds run came on a ground out. Like, that's how bad this game was for the lineup.
Yeah, Nelly ground out at that. So
yeah,
RBI. We take this, especially when it's the only one you get. But I'm getting a little Matt McLain worried. I didn't think I would, but I'm getting there.
He seems to be stooping for contact. He's really sapped his power, and it just feels like he's really trying to make a lot of contact and get on base a lot, which honestly, that's what he needs to do. But it seems like if you're an opposing pitcher, you're not really that worried about Matt McLain doing damage to you outside of the nice weekend that he just had. That's really the only time he's been doing damage. Yeah,
I'm with you. I don't like that I've seen some people use the name Matt Senzel. Not a fan of it. Please don't use it.
I don't see that yet. No, I don't see that.
I don't either.
But you certainly are a little bit worried. It's like, okay, time to start going. Like, we're kind of getting to that point where it's like, it's no longer, dude, he's going to break out. Now it's going to be like, dude, can he break out?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jeff, the good thing about baseball is when you have a bad day like this, there's always tomorrow. And we're going to talk here after the break about what the Reds can do to respond tomorrow against the Pittsburgh Pirates. The NBA playoffs are here and every possession matters. If you're looking to get even closer to the action, FanDuel is a great offer to get you started. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $150 in bonus bets just for getting started. You can check stats, trends, and matchups before making your picks, which makes the whole experience feel a lot more informed. Whether you're looking at a player props or just following your favorite stars, it adds another level of excitement to every game. It's a really easy app to navigate, and it makes playoff basketball even more engaging from start to finish. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game. This episode is also brought to you by Game Time. MLB season is back, and you can feel it. Fresh starts, big expectations, and that first crack of the bat. Whether it's a breakout rookie or a division race that goes down to the wire, there's nothing like being in the ballpark for it. The only problem, getting tickets can feel like a grind. Long queue, surprise fees, prices jumping at checkout. That's where there's Game Time. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experience in just a few taps. It's simple to use. The Game Time guarantee means you get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. And here's the best part. Fees are included in the price you see. What you see is what you pay, period. The seat view feature is huge. I can see the panoramic view from my exact seat before you buy. Zone deals let me pick the section and save even more while Game Time selects the seats. You can follow your favorite team and get alerts when new deals drop. 2 taps and it's done. No stress, no hidden fees, just great seats and minutes. That's what makes it so easy to decide last minute to hit a game. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKDOWN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. One, as always, give a quick shout out to our everydayers here on the postcast. Thank you so much for spending some time with them. And thanks to Jeff for hanging out with me on a Friday night where everything in the world was going on. But if you also want to be someone who lives and dies by the Reds every single day, you love my show, you love Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday on Locked on Reds, join the Everydayer Club. It's $5 a month or $50 a year. You get ad-free episodes from my show, from Jeff and Steve's show. We have the Discord chat where we're in there talking with everybody, and every single team that you root for has a room here. So say you're a Seattle Kraken fan like Steve Offenbaker, they got a room. Say you're a Toronto Raptors fan, don't talk to me right now, they've got a room. And we have you covered over here at the Locked On Everydayer Club. So Jeff, I do this thing when I have a guest on. It's a new tradition on the postcast this year where I play the Locked On Player of the Game thing and I let the guest pick it. And I don't know, good luck.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
If it's a Red, it's TJ Friedl. It's probably Brian Reynolds, though. I hate to admit it. That dude, he kills. He absolutely kills the Reds, and I don't know why we have never seen a Brian Reynolds referendum. Why they don't pitch more carefully? Why there's not something more to that? Because like he's played 92 or he's my screen just froze on me. I had to pull it up. He's played a lot of ball games against the Redlegs, and he has more home runs against the Reds than against any other team. He just lives to play the Reds, and so they don't treat him with that kind of respect. And I don't know, man. Like the home run that he hit, the pitch was middle up. It wasn't middle, but it was middle up. It was like home run derby. That's exactly where you want that thing. And he's never going to miss that pitch. So I think ultimately, like, he was the guy that broke this game open for them. Like I mentioned, if Henry Davis hits 1 home run, let alone 2, you just kind of figure that the Pirates are going to win. And I told you before we hit go on this thing that coming into this ball game, Brian Hayes had a better slugging percentage than did Henry Davis. And Henry Davis killed the Reds tonight. It's just one of those nights.
It is one of those nights. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's the beauty. Is tomorrow at 4:00 we start again. And tomorrow we get to see how the Reds respond. And I think that's the thing I'm looking at the most here, because you put this one behind you and you move to the next one. And like you said, you got Braxton Ashcraft on Sunday. So tomorrow when you have Carmen Mlodzinski, I never know if I say his name right, but I don't care.
It's one of those weird ones where it's like you roll over half of his name, Mlodzinski.
Yeah, right. Who is again this year doing the thing where like he's had 6 appearances. He's got 5 starts. So he's got a bullpen day in him, but 1 and 2 of the 4-13. The Reds seems to play pretty well against him last year. This is a game. I don't know if it's, I'm not going to use must win the first weekend of May, But
Right.
if you're a Reds fan, you probably feel pretty darn good about your chances tomorrow.
If I'd say a must vibe game,
Yes.
maybe not must win, must vibe game. Like it feels like the vibes are in a little bit of a limbo after that game because it's like, okay, you had a really bad game against the Rockies, but then you bounce back and you won that series, and now you have a really bad game again. So you got 2 out of 3 days where you just have stinkers. Like at some point, you really you got to worry about, do these stinkers turn into something more? Saturday's the day to prove that that's not going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with that being said, we'll go ahead and close out tonight's episode of the Postcast, as the Reds are unfortunately losers to the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight, 9-1. The Pirates have 9 runs on 12 hits and an error. The Reds have 1 run on 3 hits, no errors. Mitch Keller gets his 3rd win of the year. He is now 3-1, and Brady Singer gets his 2nd loss of the year. He is now 2-2. And like we just talked about, the Reds are back at tomorrow at 4:05 as Rhett Lauder takes the hill for the Redlegs at 3-1 with a 3.18 ERA. He's going against Jacob Mlodzinski, who is 1-2 with a 4.13 ERA. I'm never going to say his name right. Okay. So we're just going to roll with it. So first pitch will be at 4:05, pending any weather. And then I will be live probably about 7:10 or so right after the game. But Jeff, thank you so much for hanging out tonight on the Postcast and covering me while I was watching 2 games tonight where I couldn't give my full 100% attention on the Reds. I'm definitely grateful. And thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Have a great rest of your weekend. Go Reds, and I will see you tomorrow. So next time I have you on, maybe they'll win.
Hopefully so.